Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today. And though you've come through many obstacles.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to episode 3 of the Cuphead show. Our first poll series that we are doing on the channel, and in our new set of poll series, and our new slot for that. So our first 2 episodes, I had very different opinions on. First episode, I really loved, actually. I thought it really captured the spirit of the game, as well as old Fleischer cartoons. I thought it was funny. I thought it was clever. I genuinely enjoyed it. The second episode was completely the opposite. It was an overdone just plot. The idea of, like, you know, the baby who's very destructive and comes in out of nowhere with no explanation and is just a complete chaotic force. It's like, we've seen that in so many things. It's not funny, and the problem is it's never been funny. It's meant as a comedic concept, and it's been done since the old days of cartoons, and it's never been funny. It's never been entertaining. It's not enjoyable. It's not enjoyable to watch a baby character who has stupid levels of intelligence be a complete chaotic force and just completely ruin the day of the main characters. I don't understand the appeal of it. It's not funny. And the problem is the episode did nothing new with it. It was exactly the exact same plot that you would see in literally anything else that does this or has done this. It did nothing new, nothing special, nothing helped it stand apart. And apparently, from what I've been told, it is actually generally a disliked episode for this series. Like, people don't like this episode as much. Episode 2, that is. So yeah, apparently I'm not alone in that. And I am genuinely hoping that that's an outlier. That most of the episodes of this series aren't going to be like that, because I really did not like that. And as I said last time, they could have fixed it by simply explaining that the devil sent the baby. That one thing, if the devil sent the baby, or hell, if the baby was the devil in disguise, that would have fixed it. Just do that one thing. Either of those options would have solved everything, because that would have at least tied it to the plot that episode 1 set up. It would have tied it to the plot. It would have done something different with the concept that I don't think I've seen done before. And it would have allowed it to actually feel like it had a point. Because otherwise it just feels like, you know, okay, we have this series that's based on a game that's based on old Fleischer rubber hose animation. So let's just take a concept from that old animation and just do it again. Not do anything new with it, not do anything special with it, not make it feel like it stands out compared to other iterations. No, let's just do it again. And it's like, that feels lazy. That feels like lazy writing. You know what it honestly feels like? It honestly feels like they did not have enough ideas for the show. It feels like they did not have enough ideas for the show for the amount of episodes they were given. And so they had to just throw something in there. Now, I'm not saying that's the case. I don't know if that's the case. I just don't know. I'm just saying that that's what it feels like. Because it doesn't fit. It just does not, like, have a point to be there after the first episode. If you started the series with something like that before you got into, like, the stuff with the devil, that would have been one thing. But when you start the series you set up expectations with the first episode. And setting up those expectations, if you just completely drop off of the map with them and just don't do anything in the second episode, it feels disjointed. And it's confusing, if nothing else. But I am hoping that is an outlier. So hopefully we get back on track. Hopefully we get back to main stuff. Or at least have the devil's influence be notable going forward. We don't have to like have the devil be like the main force of antagonism in every episode. But I at least want to see the influence, or at least want to see, you know, the plot being progressed. There's not a lot of episodes of this, and they're not very long. So it's like you have very small amounts of time to get things across here. There's not really time to be dicking around with a series this short and this with a short runtime as well. So it's like, I just really want this series to be as good as I know it can be. Again, as I said in the first episode, I don't expect it to be exactly like the games. That's just not going to happen. An adaptation of anything is not going to be an exact clone of it. And you should never expect it to be. But I want it to be good, and I want it to still capture that spirit, like the first episode did. And so I'm really hoping that we get back on track with things. Like, are we going to see, for example, Cuphead and Mugman shooting the shots out of their fingers like they do in the game to fight enemies? That's something I want to see. I know the pig guy is in it, the salesman guy, the shopkeeper, that's the word I was trying to think of. I know he's in it because I saw him in a trailer. And I believe the opening shows quite a few characters from the game as well. So I know that we should expect that. I know King Dice is in it because it was made a very big deal in the marketing for the series that Wayne Brady voices him. It's like, oh, we got this big comedy star to voice him, even though Wayne Brady really isn't that relevant anymore. Like, he was relevant during a single decade, basically, and then he just kind of fell out of relevance. Like, I mean, he's still known. People know who he is, but he's never like a big legend of comedy or anything. But they really marketed on that. So I know he's in here at some point. I want to go back to what episode 1 set up, you know? And I'm hoping we do that. I don't know what to expect at all. I don't actually know what happens in any of these episodes, so just kind of flying by my own personal desires and hopes for the series. But we'll see. We shall see. For the time being, we are just going to continue this and hope for the best. So let us get this going and see what this episode has in store. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, I'm actually recording this a while after, because as you saw near the end of the reaction, my father came home earlier than expected. He went back in to do his door dashing and everything, so we can get to this now. I still remember what happened and all. Um, so as I mentioned in the pre-thoughts, the first episode, loved it. Second episode, hated it. This third episode now, kind of right in the middle, if I'm being honest. Um, Ironically enough, like it's weird that it's been like that. This episode had a lot more good stuff to it that I would expect and want from this series. The chaos on Ribby and Croak's boat and everything, the shenanigans that happened there, the different character just models and personalities and designs and everything. And it felt more like it fit after the first episode. But then there was the annoying shit in it. And this is what kept it from actually being good for me. It's not bad, because the good stuff kept it from being bad, but this kept it from being good. Cuphead and Mugman's brotherly fighting with each other is fucking annoying. Like, I get what they're going for. I understand the joke and the idea, but it's not funny. It's fucking annoying. Like, I've seen many shows, many movies, played many games where you have characters who argue for various purposes. Whether they have differences in viewpoints on things or they're siblings, even. And when it's done well, it usually has purpose. In this series, we saw it in the second episode, and now here as well. The entire thing is they're just fighting because they're siblings. That's literally the joke. The problem is, like, while I can vouch that siblings do fight, and even to the point of physically attacking each other, my brother and I can both vouch for that. That doesn't make it entertainment. Like, that's fucking annoying in real life when that happens. It's not something to laugh at. It's not something that's funny. It's not something that's fun to watch. When siblings do this kind of shit in real life, it's like, yeah, it's a problem. Again, I'm speaking from experience here. My brother and I, when we were younger, would be at each other's throats. Like, really notably so. Like, we would actively, physically fight each other. And I can't explain why. I can't tell you why I did. I didn't hate him or anything. But I would punch at and scratch at and kick at him. Constantly. He would do the same to me. I can't explain it. I don't know. But it happened. So I'm not saying that this is unrealistic. But I don't want to see it. Having siblings argue or whatnot in a series, having siblings get into even a little bit of a scrap here or there is fine. But when they do it like this and try to play it for laughs, it's honestly kind of disturbing. Because again, speaking from experience, that's not something that's funny. It's not something that should be played for laughs. Siblings fighting to that degree is a problem. It's indicative of some issues that need to be worked out. That's not okay. And that's not something that a comedy-based series should make light of in this way. So it's really fucking annoying to watch that. And to see Ribby and Croaks like, oh, like we decided to strain ourselves out because Mama didn't like us fighting, and it's like, oh yeah, obvious parallels here. And yet at the end they're just kind of at each other's throats too, and it's like there's no real lesson here. And there's no real resolution to this. Like, yeah, at the end, Cuphead and Mugman kind of make up, but you know that's not going to stick. There's nothing about it that says it's going to stick. In fact, everything about how it's presented says it's not going to stick. They'll probably be right at each other again in the next episode. So what's the point? Did it even matter? But again, as I said, the stuff that was actually good about this was good. The song, the character designs, Ribby and Croak themselves, and a lot of the ideas and everything in this were fine. Were good. They helped keep it from being a bad episode, but the bad stuff was, again, so fucking annoying that it also kept it from being good and just kind of kept it meh, right in the middle. And that's not necessarily a good thing. Like, let me see. How many episodes does this have? I know I have them all downloaded, so I can check real quick. It has 12 episodes, right? So 12 episodes. These episodes range from, like, right around 15 minutes. Like, from 14 to 17 minutes each. So a little over, like, the typical half-length episodes that you see in some shows, but still not quite full length for a regular series. Kind of right in between those two. So for 12 episodes of this is going to have to improve quick. Because if this doesn't start getting consistently better, I might not want to continue this. As harsh as it sounds, and when you have 3 episodes and only one of them has been good, that's not a great sign. And yeah, while only one of them's also been bad, the other one still being kind of meh is still not a great view of things to come. And again, I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know what the plan is for this and how quickly it's going to get to the point and stuff. But again, I kind of feel like it should be, like, things should be connected to the devil a little more. Like, the first episode, the end of the episode is like Mugman constantly reminding Cuphead, and your soul belongs to the devil and all. It's constantly repeating that. And yet now we've had 2 episodes after that with absolutely no mention of the devil. And 2 episodes that could have easily been connected to and easily made better through that connection. With the second episode, have it so that the devil was either the one who sent the baby or the baby himself. It was him in disguise as the baby. One of those 2 things would have fixed that episode. Would have made everything work. Everything that was otherwise bad about it would have worked just with that change. Because it would have been intentional and have a point. This episode, have it be revealed that the devil actually hired Ribby and Croaks to put the free ice cream thing on the sign. Have it so that he actually maybe had them secretly somehow lure in Cuphead and Mugman. Just a couple little changes here and there, having it connect back to the devil, once again, would have fixed so much. And yeah, the annoying fighting between Cuphead and Mugman would have still been there, but it would have elevated the episode greatly, nonetheless, and would have definitely brought it into at least the good territory. But that's the problem. They're not doing that. Like, I understand this is going to be very episodic, but you can still make that connection. You can still have the episodes be their own things in terms of what is actually happening, but by tying it to the devil, it keeps up what was set up to continue. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but it's like I just want this to be. I just want each of these plots to be good. And I want them to feel like they have a point. Because otherwise, they're not impacting anything. And in the end, nothing's going to come from them. So why are they here? I don't know. But hopefully things get better. That's all I can say. That's all I can hope for. Hopefully things get better, and sooner rather than later. So we'll see. But overall, based on these first 3 episodes, this series is kind of overall disappointing me so far. And it's sad because I went into this, I knew some people were disappointed by this series. And I wanted to go into this, it's like, oh yeah, I know it's obviously going to be different from the games, that's fine. But I'm still going to give it a chance. I'm still going to hope that it's going to still be good. I'm not expecting it to be just a carbon copy of the game. So yeah, but at the same time, I still want it to be good. And it's just overall not being so yet. One episode, and the very first episode, does not a series make. So, tell me in the comments below what you thought of this episode of the Cuphead Show. And for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. So, thank you all so much, and I'll see you all next time.